And once it
it
browse, all of us can switch on our YouTube live. After that, you can log into my ID after once we are live, and you'll come to know on that.
Yep, we are live.
Yeah.
I can see the.
Yeah.
I've put it on my phone.
Hi, everybody. We are on this session live on YouTube, program known as Sanskriti. Okay, and this is a YouTube live for one special category today, which is known as Life in 20's. And whenever you are talking life in 20's, you are most welcome to be with us. All our participants who are with us online, you are also welcome. And I am life coach Sanjeev, and I take care of two aspects: corporate aspect and the personal life aspects. So all of you who are there, as a life coach, I specialize in relationship building, relationship management, be it within couples, between parents and children, corporate relationship, if I say, or even if I say one particular aspect, especially very critical in India, and that is known as in-laws relationship. Generally, इसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं सास बहू का झगड़ा. So that's where I specialize. That's little about me, and we'll keep on talking about us. I would like to invite our psychologist, Miss Purvai, with us. Hi, Purvai, most welcome to this program. And why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Sanjeev. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Purvai. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm also a suicide prevention specialist, and I work with all age groups. I'm a counselor. I have my private practice, and I also practice mindfulness. So that is something that I specialize in as well. So, really grateful to be a part of this, and let's get this started. So, Sanjeev, tell me one thing. What inspired you to name this program Sanskriti?
So what I'll share, thank you very much for this question, Purvai. I was expecting this question because I was thinking, so for our viewers, I would like to share that by profession, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I have transformed into people engineer. So people call me now people engineer. And so since my childhood, very early stage of my life, I was very much interested to know about human psychology. Why? Because I would share something like when I was a kid, I used to see a lot of dual approach by people around me. I talk about my friends, uncles, even in my family or every aspect of life. I used to see लोग ना दोहरी बात करते थे कि they'll say something, हमारे सामने कुछ और, किसी और के सामने संकेतन कुछ और बोलते थे. So that is where I was very much confused. So once even I asked कि one of my elder कि ये क्या है, कि क्यों हम इतनी duality की बात कर रहे हैं, and then I was told कि नहीं ऐसा ही होता है. Now interestingly ऐसा ही होता है, तो as a kid मैंने सोचा ऐसा ही होता है, और मैंने भी थोड़ा ऐसा शुरू करा. जब मैंने शुरू करा, I was being scolded by my parents and others. No, how can you do this? And I was shocked. या खुद कर रहे हो, सब ठीक है. मैं कर रहा हूँ तो मैं गलत हूँ. And that's where it triggered me. And that's where I was thinking that all across the ages, 20's, 30's, middle age, second inning people, any relationship, there's a lot of duality happening all across. So that's where, Purvai, we thought of naming something on a particular word which I heard a lot. मेरे ख्याल से हमारे इंडिया में lot of youngsters hear a lot कि तुम लोगों ने हमारा culture खराब कर रखा. You don't understand the culture. What is the Indian culture? You don't know, you don't follow. I'm sure you must have also heard a lot about it.
Definitely, definitely.
Now this culture word जो बहुत बार आया, इस culture ने मुझे trigger करा. In Hindi or Sanskriti we say this is known as culture is Sanskriti. Am I right?
Yeah.
And worldwide, every place, every people, every family, everybody, they have a culture. For example, if India we talk about, Atithi Devo Bhava is a culture. And
Yeah.
we all understand that that means guests are like God. We presume them like God.
Hmm.
Now, when it is like that, I thought of starting this thing that if Atithi Devo Bhava is the culture, where is the culture today? It is not being visible out here. And for the youngsters, especially who are especially millennials, because in 20s nowadays we have two categories, the millennials or Gen Z. And millennials और Gen Z, both of them say कि मुझे क्यों प्रेशराइज कर रहे हो, मुझे नहीं जाना, मुझे अंकल के सामने पोएम नहीं सुनानी, मुझे नहीं दिखाना.
Yeah.
Are you getting? And
Yeah.
they are being forced for everything. So this is where I thought of naming this as a Sanskriti. And if you see our even registration form, it says about 5 different categories: 20s, middle age, parents, in-laws, second
Yeah.
innings. So we are talking, and we'll be inviting everybody out here in different categories out here. So we are talking about Indian culture, Indian Sanskriti all put together.
Yeah.
Great. So this is how I said. And second aspect for this was that there's nothing right and nothing wrong in this universe. And as NASA has also declared, the universal sound is known as Om. A-U-M, Om. This is how we are trying to use that Sanskrit, and we'll talk about this today. So
Yeah.
I hope you got the point, what you asked me, Purvai, that makes sense to us.
Yes, definitely. So I really agree with this because since a lot of us in our 20s, including me, there is so much new that we're experiencing, and there are so many new standards that we are now setting for ourselves. And, always, putting ourselves on those preconceived boundaries seem a little different, a little uneasy for us, uncomfortable for us, because we are exploring so many new things. And I think that's why the topic for today, as it is life in the 20s, plays a major significant role also,
Yeah,
because it's very relatable for all of us. Some of us in the audience, we are coming towards our 20s. Some of us today in the panel itself are in the 20s, and of course, like you have experienced your 20s. So it
absolutely.
binds us all in this topic. And since it's also a period of so much transformation, so much instability, so many new standards, expectations that we have from ourselves, that the people around us have from ourselves, so it becomes really important for us to talk about this. So
Absolutely. And rather, when I talk to 20s, I feel into 20s myself.
yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thanks a lot for sharing this, Purva. Yeah. So how do you want to proceed with this?
okay, so I think let's introduce our panelists now. We
Yeah.
have two people with us. So, Sanjeev, would you go ahead and introduce our two panelists
Of course.
today?
That's I would love to do that. So I would like to first invite our first panelist today. Our participant from first participant is a young, dynamic entrepreneur in his 20s. Okay,
Okay.
and before I even name about him and I talk about him, I would like to tell you that um, being in just at the age of around 25, okay, he's 25. He is working as an event planner based out of Bhopal, and a very profound and renowned set designer.
Okay.
He is one person who organizes his events, but all across the country, all big event management companies approach him for set designing. He's an expert, he's a master of that. So, without wasting any further time, I would like to invite Mr. Yash Gupta. Yash, can you be on screen? And we would like to be there. If you're there, it would be great pleasure for all of us to see you there. Hi, Yash.
Hi
Hi.
guys, hi, how is everyone?
It was good, Yash. And Yash, we are so glad to have you. And
Glad to be here, glad to be here.
you belong to a place which is central part of our country. Okay, Madhya
Yes,
Pradesh, Bhopal. Okay,
yeah.
interestingly, a place जहाँ पे टॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर की लाइन जाती है जहाँ से.
जी, जी, बिल्कुल.
Yash, welcome to this program. It is a lovely. Thanks for participating and filling up the form, and we are glad to have you here. And with your such profound exposure, experience, and your success at such an early stage, if you ask me, I feel J.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sanjeev. Thank you. You're pushing it way too much, but yeah, uh, it's been good. It's been good. I can't lie about that, and it's been a very good experience. It's a very good learning curve that I've been going through right now for the past couple of years, and hopefully it continues. And thanks for having me. Thank you so much. It's
You're
great being
most
here.
welcome. Yes, we have with us another participant. This is a young, dynamic lady from Delhi, Delhi NCR, I would say. She is a student in her mid 20s, and psychology. She's doing MPhil in clinical psychology, and uh, I really admire when she filled up the form that at this young, early age, she has shown that courage to come on stage and being live with people. And that really needs courage. So without wasting time and without keeping cla- our audience waiting, can I invite Ayushi to please, if you're there, you can you can come on this platform and we would like to really see you. Hi,
Hi.
Ayushi, how are you?
Hi,
Hello. Hi,
welcome.
Sanjeev. Hi, Purvai.
Ayushi,
Hi.
thank you very much for joining us. And I must admire that at this age, you have that courage because I was talking to Yash, I feel Jay with him because he's doing so great business at this age. I feel envy with you because उस एज में तो हम सोचते थे कि सामने आए कैसे लोग बोलते थे
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Thank you for having me here.
you're welcome, dear. And while you're here, so let me give you just a little bit idea. This is a program which is known as Sanskriti Life in 20s today. We are also organizing some programs for other categories every week, so we'll update on that. Today, you being millennials and Gen Z, I'm sure you are both of you are between millennials and Gen Z or something.
Yeah,
I
we are on
guess
the
so.
border.
Yes. Yeah.
So, good to see. And this program is a simple program. Let me set the little context about the program. The program is very simple. There is no set agenda. Both of you are representing our across the country, across the globe in 20s, life in 20s. Feel free to ask anything. The pedagogy which we are going to follow is that Om pedagogy. Now, Om, we know that Om, how is Om spelled? It can ask either of you, Yash or
Um,
Anush. Om, how do you spell Om in English?
AUM.
Absolutely perfect. A-U-M. Generally, there are two sort of Oms. One is O-M,
Oh,
Om, and
yeah.
another is A-U-M.
AUM.
The universal sound of Om is A-U-M. Right? We are going to follow the same pedagogy. Now, when I say when we are going to follow the same pedagogy, what do we mean? Most of the people, when I being a coach and in my second innings, by the way, okay, I don't look like, let me be open,
Yeah.
but I'll be candid in my second innings. Most of the people who have any challenge in any aspect of life, one common question, मैं क्या करूं? What do I do? Now, everybody, when they say, and as a life coach, when they approach me and they talk to me, मैं क्या करूं? तो उसमें क्या होता है? They're looking for a makeshift arrangement. कि मुझे कुछ solution बता दो. And now, when I said I was interested for human psychology since my childhood, there is no set solution for any problem, any challenge, because everybody's life is different, everybody's circumstance and environment is different. Am I right,
True.
Purvai? You being
Yeah.
psychologist, keep telling me.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely correct. So even when we talk about psychology and counseling, there's not a solution focused approach. It's always, we see it as a journey of experiences. There are some things we can control, some things that we cannot, and the most important part is that we have awareness of what we engage in. So before any solution, before any action, it's very important for us to know what it actually is and what is it that we need from it.
Thank you.
So I really agree when you said
Thank you very much.
these things.
So,
Yeah.
Ayushi and Yash, our pedagogy today is AUM. What this acronym is, A means first and foremost, whenever you talk about any issue, any challenge of your life, we'll first talk A. A means aware. Let's be aware what your challenge is, because many times we face some problem and we are not aware what is it and we just jump into it.
Sure.
Okay, that's the first A. U means whatever we are aware of, let's understand that. Because for example, हमने अपने कल्चर की बात करी, हमारे कल्चर में बहुत सारी बातें होती है, बट दैट्स जस्ट ए कल्चर. वी आर अवेयर ऑफ द कल्चर, हमें मालूम है क्या करते हैं. हम जब बड़े मिलते हैं तो पाँव छूते हैं, हमें मालूम है. ओके, बट वी डोंट अंडरस्टैंड क्यों छूते हैं.
Right.
आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
Yeah.
बड़े बोलते हैं कि नहीं, बड़ों के सामने ऊंची आवाज में नहीं बात करते. अरे क्यों नहीं कर सकते? मतलब लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड. एम आई राइट?
Sure.
This is where our pedagogy step number 2 is aware, then understand about it. Why what we are talking, let's be understand. And then third step, which is M for move on. So what should we do? The biggest challenge in our life, Ayushi and Yash, is that moment we directly jump into third step, M. बोलते हैं हम क्या करें, मुझे बताओ, मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रहा है.
Right.
Now वो आप without A and without U जब कभी भी M पे jump करोगे, it would be either challenging or it would be just a makeshift arrangement.
True.
Right.
So today's pedagogy we are going to follow is A-U-M Pedagogy, and let's simplify the challenges of our life. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Totally.
Perfect.
So Purvai, what do you like to start with? How would you like to say?
Okay, so we can probably open the discussion with our panelists. We can start with any one of you sharing your experience or any challenge that you're facing being in the 20s. It can be related to any aspect of your life, anything that you would want to share with us, and then we can take it forward.
Okay. I can start.
Sure.
Wow. That shows
So,
the courage. That's Ayushi.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I believe that 20s are your years where, like, your make or break years. You either make your life or you break your life. And it goes with like every aspect of it, be it financially or be it like emotionally, relationship wise. Either you make your life or you break your life. So that's my personal opinion. So 20s are basically very crucial years and basically a foundation of how you are going to your, how are you going to live your life later. So that's like these are the years you lay your foundation.
Perfect.
So either like career wise, people are conflicted, like these are the years you have to be stable in, you have to earn well, you have to take care of your families, financially support them. So I believe these are the years in which the person feels conflicted between the societal expectations and their personal choices.
Wow.
So I believe that this can be a gist of how 20s are like basically giving a direction to your like later years.
Awesome. So Ayushi, when you say that, with this, can we understand when you use two great words, make it or break it? Okay.
Right.
Where are you right now?
As any 24-year-old conflicted adult, I'm in between.
So would you like to share something or ask something on this platform? As Purvai said, any challenge or anything which you are going great with your life?
Which is going great. I think career-wise, I am doing okay. I would consider my career aspect of it like, okay, I'm making it right now.
Perfect.
Yeah. So career-wise, I would say that वहाँ पर conflicts थोड़े कम हैं अभी. So I'm basically making it.
Wonderful. Any other area?
And other areas would be friendship. So 20s is the area, as I said, you lay your foundation, and I'm blessed with like great friendship. So friends, so basically your social support. This is the time, you move away from your house, parents as well, and you go out in the outer world, you make your connections. So having a social support other than your family, other than your blood relations is important.
Such a lovely thing. Thank you very much for sharing. I think Purvai, she is so bold enough and to put it so straightforward that it's like laying foundation on and her line, she did not use the word, but Ayushi, I really heard from you. It's like being from dependent stage of life on you're moving towards independent stage of life.
Yes, correct.
Thank you very much for sharing, Ayushi. So I'll go to Purva. I'll ask Yash. Yash, why don't you share about yourself?
So yeah, Ayushi did explain it really well. It's the make or break years, and me personally, I started working a few years back, I took that step of not maybe jumping into a higher education and getting a degree, and rather starting something that I have a portion to learn or break. So yeah, I'll say the one thing that I really connected with her part was the uncertainty that people have in their 20s, which I still do have. Um, so when this whole working aspect started for life, it started 2 years back, and still I would say I'm very conflicted about the part of whether I took the right decision or not, or should I not have, and should I have studied more, and am I doing it a little too quick? But I guess that's the whole part of it. Those questions are what's making me grow through this age. I think that asking whether or not I took the right decision or not is one of the major things that make me question or make me work harder and push this. So yeah, the one thing that I actually did want to ask you and Purvai especially was this uncontrolled social barrier about the time limit. So I don't know, like I personally don't feel like I am running on a clock. I'm 25, I'm working, and I believe I can work till 35 and then think about the next step, or work till 30 or work till 27. So, but uh, other than me, everyone has this time limit set and this timeline set as to what I should be working at and how I need to be working at. And that's something that I wanted to discuss. Is that right? Is it not right? Do we really need to think about a timeline when we are doing something that's totally ours? And should the societal pressure measure, and should it create some kind of a impact on our working state?
Wow.
Everything.
Wow. So, because you asked me and then you said especially Purvai. So,
You and Purvai.
yes, and I can understand she being in
Yeah.
20s, you would really like to hear from her. So,
Yeah.
Purvai, can I just start with this and then get it to you? Is it fine?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So, Yash, a lovely question. This is one of the biggest questions for all those who have shifted from practically, you have shifted into as a career part, but even for non-career like Ayushi and many of our 20s, they when they are working, they are working pretty late in the night or getting up late in the night or something. Are you asking something related to that aspect also? Is that also?
Everything. Yeah. The whole part of it, the whole scenario as to, is there a specification on how we work if we are working, and how we should go about it?
So I'll start with this with one small example, and this would give you a gist of everything. There was once a saint, along with his disciples, भिक्षा मांग के begging करके अपना खाना खाया करते थे. So one day when they were begging, they did not get any food, and it was like lunchtime sort of thing. I'm saying one particular day lunchtime.
Yeah.
So the disciple asked the saint, Guruji, we haven't got any food today. What do we do? Guruji sits for a while and then says, okay, let's have fast today. आज हम एकादशी का फास्ट करते हैं. And all of our viewers, you understand, India में एकादशी means 11th day of the moon, okay, rising moon, descending moon. Now, आज एकादशी का फास्ट करते हैं. The disciple says, Guruji, आज एकादशी तो नहीं है. And Guruji says, see, we are living in a universe, and some planet on Earth must be having Ekadasi today. So while I share this example, this was a lovely example I read somewhere. Okay, I would like to say, Yash, when you're asking this question, is there a time definition of something living life? Let's start with A-U-M Pedagogy. A-U-M. Let's be aware that while you people, you are millennials and Gen Z, you are digital age children. You live by digital time, and probably most of your parents are either Gen X or baby boomers.
True.
Right? Now, interestingly, all the Gen X and baby boomers, when we grew up, so I belong to Gen X category. Okay, when we grew up, we lived by the clock time. 9 बजे सो जाते हैं,
जी.
4 बजे उठते हैं, थोड़ा सा एक्सरसाइज करते हैं और फिर ब्रेकफास्ट करते हैं. एंड दिस इज हाउ सेटिंग द टोटल थिंग. अब आप नाश्ता का टाइम हो क्या, नाश्ता करो, यू कैन नॉट से नो, यही बना, ये खाना पड़ेगा, XYZ. स्कूल जाना है, स्कूल से आना है, स्कूल से आना है, पर्टिकुलर टाइम फ्रेम है, हाफ एन आवर में लंच खत्म करो, फिर ये ट्यूशन पे जाना है, आप 4 बजे खेलने जाओगे, 4:30 बजे वापस आ जाओगे. Are you able to connect with me?
बिल्कुल
We
बिल्कुल
have gone
ट्रू
all through this sort of time clock. And interestingly, our body clock also adjusted to that
जस्ट
because we did not have any second option. Or in that world, in our country where I was living, everybody was following almost the same thing.
True.
Other than few people who were like into security guard job, because in our time there were no night shifts. Okay, everything was happening in the daytime. So night was like a sleep time, relax time, or
Again.
something. So if I tell anybody in your life, Ayushi or Yash or Purva, when somebody is
Mhm.
there in your life, let's be aware when somebody is trying to trigger you with this time clock. First, be aware: are they right or they wrong? So if what I just shared, what do you think? Are they right or they wrong?
Right, like working through a routine on a clock shouldn't be wrong.
I would say neither right nor wrong.
Neither right now.
No.
Neither right nor, because that's what we have lived our life.
Hmm.
Now, interestingly, as we talk, if you would have heard my initial talk, culture change with time. Everything changes with time.
Sure.
So awareness says all those people who are triggering our youngsters, young adults, कि तुम ये क्या कर रहे हो, रात रात में 2-2 बजे तक मोबाइल में काम कर रहे हो और तुम सुबह 4 बजे तक कर रहे हो, तुम्हें रात में 3 बजे भूख कैसे लग सकती है?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's a body clock system. You, end of the day, we sleep for 6 to 8 hours. You sleep for 6 to 8 hours. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only the gap of the timing. So this is where you should be aware of when you are being triggered by with this social norm. You have to be first be aware whoever is poking you, where they're coming from. Does that make some sense, Yash, with your question?
It does. It does. It does.
Perfect.
It totally does.
Ayushi, is it clear to you also?
Yeah, it is.
वंडरफुल. तो इसमें मैं सेकंड लाता हूँ. जैसे अवेयर होते हैं, सबसे इंटरेस्टिंग होता है अंडरस्टैंडिंग का. एंड देन आई विल लीव इट टू पूर्व हाउ टू मूव ऑन ओम कैटेगरी. ओके, अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज योर लाइफ, दिस इज देयर लाइफ, एंड विच मे नॉट बी मैचिंग बिकॉज दोनों का ओवरलैप हो रहा है. Right now, especially in our country and worldwide, it's a huge transformation from the traditional age to the digital age. And digital age is all about fast, digital age is about action, digital age is about doing something, which you people are expert of. All our 20s, I really admire, I appreciate कि आप लोगों ने क्या दुनिया बदल दी है. अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लेवल पे मैं आप लोगों को सिर्फ 2 पॉइंट बताना चाहूंगा एंड देन आई विल स्टॉप. One, you should understand what is your real need. Many times I have seen, because of a lot of people, you actually don't need to actually be awake in the night or late night, but you are being triggered because of some emotions, probably sometimes loneliness. You're onto the social platform, or you are connecting to friends or something. Okay, so understand, first step for everybody, understanding. It's just an understanding, not an action. Be aware why are you not able to actually follow the universal time. Now I will not use the word Yash social form, I'll say universal time, because universally night is meant to relax your body.
True.
We understand everybody, right? So be aware, why are you awake of? It's genuine, ingenuine, authentic, inauthentic, you decide. Second part, understanding me, when somebody is trying to force you on the social platform, just try to get कि क्या वो बोल क्यों रहे हैं. Is it important for us to fight, or can we settle on something with due mutual understanding? That's what I would say right now. I'll pass on to Purvai. Purvai, what is your point of view on this?
Yeah, so I think the discussion took a very interesting turn with the questions. And I would start with addressing how Yash spoke about um, some uncertainties that, especially relating to career, that we experience in the 20s. And From my experience, what I have felt is that till 20 years of age, we're only learning, right? Like at every age, at every like in school, high school, college, it's only learning, and only in the 20s, the society tells us to implement it,
Right. True.
right? So we know we have the skills, we've worked, we've developed on those skills since we were born. So it's 20 years of experience that we don't count. If I start something today, I will
Yeah.
maybe say that, okay, this is my first day of work or first week of work. I don't have any experience. Technically, yes, but I have that knowledge and skills that I have built on for these 20 years of my life. So, implementation of anything which we are doing for the first time is going to make us scared, right? And what I have seen is that the only way to overcome this fear is to just do and see, right? Maximum kya ho jayega? It won't work, but at least you'll know that it's not going to work, or it works, or some other way comes through it.
Sure.
So since 20s is also a place where, we want to work, but we also want to study, but we also want some work experience. So everything is kind of overlapping. But again, the key is to just see that, okay, it's not something that has to continue. एक बार start कर दिया तो there's no finish line to this.
True.
It's a journey. And I once heard in a TED talk, and I forgot the name, but one person asked her that, how will I know that, I just want to know if will this work or not. And she said, the goals you have are dead people's goals, because only when you're dead you know what's going to
Yeah,
happen,
it's certain.
which is
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
So this is one thing that I feel that this is the time that we are implementing all of our skills for the first time. It feels very uncertain. It feels very, um, you know, conflicting. But I think gradually, with every step, we gain some clarity on things. Can be positive, can be negative, but that clarity comes over time. And when we talk about routine, um, I think Sanjeev covered all of it. Uh, just one thing, that since we are also in a period where the definition of time is now not limited. We have friends who are staying in the US. Now we can't talk to them according to our timeline, right? We have work which maybe, some of us have this attention span late in the night or early in the morning. So that is our productive period. So as long as, yes, basic sleep 6 to 7, 8 hours, uh, food 3 meals a day, exercise, some basic exercise for our health. Yes, these things are important, and we need to be mindful of these. But apart from that, just having an awareness and understanding of our bodies, that what works best for us is good for us. And since we live in a society which is a collectivistic society, it's, you know, we have a bond with our parents, which is closer. We have a bond with our relatives if we are staying with them. So just communication, because like Sanjeev said, they are from a different period. We are from an extremely different period. And, there has to be a middle ground, and that can only happen through communication.
होता नहीं है.
So, yeah, yeah, easier spoken than done.
Yes.
But I think that's the only key to come
So,
on a middle ground.
absolutely. Thank you, Purva, for sharing this. I think this makes a lot of sense. But Purva, before I move to Ayushi and we move to Ayushi, Yash के संग थोड़ा सा छोटा सा काम करें. Is it okay, Yash? You are fine with it?
Please, please, please go ahead.
Perfect. So Yash, I would like to know, when you said this, when you came up with this question, I understand there must be some challenge you must be facing in this aspect in your life. Am I right?
I do. Quite a lot.
I would like to understand why at all. And now this is again, we are talking, you will understand how do you take charge of all the aspects of life. A-U-M Pedagogy. I would like to understand why at all do you face challenge, because you're doing so great, you are successful in your life, and still you saying that you're facing such challenge. Why do you think so?
I think the challenge doesn't portray any kind of issue in my career. My work life is good.
Perfect.
But the point is that I do come back home, and when I come back home, I stay with my parents. My sister's married, but I have my parents, and Bhopal has these bungalow systems, so we have a bungalow and we stay here. And what the issue is that my work is more concentrated towards the night. I either would be working on field till 4 5, and then I would come back, sleep the whole day, and do the same thing, or the same thing goes on at night because some of my clients get free in the night and everything. So um, it's a challenge because let's just say after the work part of it is done, there's a big part of the day that I have to spend at home, and with my parents and everything, it doesn't gel well because they don't understand the part that I have to stay up in night because that's the time then everyone else is working, so I have to be up. And because I am up till 5 o'clock, 5 6 a.m. in the morning, I tend to sleep till 1 or 2, and that's kind of the routine. It's not harming me personally in my career, it's not harming me, I think, health wise or in that matter, but what it's harming is the relationship that I have with my parents, because the time that I'm not working basically goes in me explaining to them what's happening and why I'm doing this. And I really don't know if there's a better way to explain it to them. And I get the point that they are coming from a time where things worked accordingly. So yeah, that's the challenge. That's the trouble in my head right now.
Okay, thanks. You are sharing everything, and you are preparing Ayushi. When she gets into this career, she would know what to do in advance.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Yash, I would share this line. And Purva, this was an interesting. And recently, when I was talking to one of the parent, और ऐसे कोई बात हुई तो मैंने ऐसे किसी बच्चे के बारे में बोला था कि एक इंसान को कम से कम 6 से 8 घंटे सोना चाहिए. तो झट से उसकी मदर ने बोला ये तो बहुत ज्यादा सोता है. Now when the mother said बहुत ज्यादा सोता है, तो उसने बोला कि कहाँ बहुत ज्यादा सोता हूँ. बोला 12 बजे तक तो सोता रहता है. Now interestingly, mother did not consider कि सोने ही 6 बजे जाता है. So parents make these loose statements. So Yash, what I would share with you, first thing what you just shared, so it's nothing difficult, it's actually very simple. Life is very simple. So how do we move on? We'll come on that. One, be very aware that are you confident about while you're awake in the night, you're doing great thing. Are you aware that you are utilizing it authentically, or you're wasting it?
I am.
You are confident or not confident? I'm just asking you.
I'm saying I'll say I've developed my routine around that time. So yeah, most days I am, but yeah, there's a 20% feeling that I've now gelled up into that routine so much that I can't sleep even if I don't have work.
Perfect.
Yeah, true.
Can I make you understand point number 2 about understanding A-U-M-A?
Sure. Please.
Every human being is a combination of 2 things: logic and emotions.
Okay.
Do you admire this?
I do.
Now, when every person is a mix of logic and emotion, are you fighting with all those people in your life logically, or are you able to connect with them emotionally also to tell the same point what you're saying?
Maybe not that much emotionally. It's more logic because that's the logic that I see.
Yash, now let me share with you. While many times logics are very good, but we have to understand, and you, all millennials, I really talk to a lot of millennials, I tell them, all Gen Z who have crossed their 20s, I talk to them also, and I tell them, boss, एक चीज में सबसे पहले एक्सपर्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है. Have the clarity, किस समय जो बात कर रहे हो, जो समझा रहे हो, उस समय इन दोनों में से क्या यूज करना इम्पोर्टेंट.
बिल्कुल.
Worst thing that happens, the person sitting in front of you, okay, maybe it can happen with your family, it can happen with your client, it can happen with anybody in life, okay, even with your boyfriends and girlfriends or anybody in your life, okay, it can happen with anybody. अगर आपको दिख रहा है सामने वाला, आप लॉजिक दे रहे हो, लॉजिक से कन्विंस नहीं हो रहा है, शिफ्ट. It should give you a trigger. Now I'm giving you, now you have to understand this, how it works simply. Moment something doesn't work for you, Ayushi, Yash, it should make you clear, मेरा ये तरीका काम नहीं कर रहा है. एक बार ट्राई करा, शायद नहीं करा, दूसरी बार करा, नहीं करा, थर्ड टाइम भी नहीं करा ना, you should call yourself and say, boss, ये तरीका बंद. And then have the self-realization you were using logic or you were using emotions. Immediately change the platform. Now, if I tell you, Yash, if you have to sit with your, let's say if this is with your parents, for example, you have to sit with your parents and tell them कि देखो मम्मी या पापा या सिस्टर जो भी कोई है कि देखो आपकी लाइफ में क्या होता है, आप सुबह 9 से लेके शाम के 5-6 बजे तक काम करते हो. सोशल नॉर्म के हिसाब से आप 6 बजे के बाद आके थोड़ा बहुत आपस में सोशलाइज भी कर लेते हो, अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ, अपनी फैमिली के साथ, अपने रिलेटिव्स के साथ थोड़ा सोशलाइज भी कर लेते हो. आप उसके बाद डिनर भी करते हो, डिनर टेबल पे साथ बैठ के खाना खाते हो, थोड़ा बातचीत भी रहती है, एंड देन शाम को आप लोग रिलैक्स भी कर लेते हो. ये 4 पार्ट लाइफ के इंपॉर्टेंट है. डोंट यू थिंक मेरे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है? आई एम जस्ट गिविंग यू वन ऑफ द आइडियाज व्हिच यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. आप देखो, मैं जब शाम को रात में 3 बजे काम से वापस आता हूँ, मुझे बताओ 3 बजे मैं किसके संग सोशलाइज कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मेरी ड्यूटी आवर्स सब खत्म हुए हैं. Purvi also gets a good smile on her face.
Very relatable.
Yes. So
Very relatable, true.
absolutely. So my experience, my exposure, which when I work with 20s, I really tell them, did you ever try to tell them कि देखो मेरे पास बताओ सोशल लाइफ कहाँ है? मैं फिर 3 बजे आके हमारे सर्कल में जो मेरे साथ 3 से 4 बजे तक सोशलाइज कर सकता है, मैं उसके साथ सोशलाइज करूंगा. दैट इज ऑल्सो नीडेड. मैं 3 बजे आके नहीं सोच सकता. And that's how I'm giving, because there is no one solution in human psychology. Ayushi, you are also a psychologist. You are okay. You're doing MPhil. You can understand कि psychology में it is not a science जो एक particular pattern से काम चलता है.
Of course.
Psychology works in varied ways in each and every aspect. But only thing which I can say, the psychology में science कौन सी चलती है? Emotional के लिए emotional use करना है, logic के लिए logic use करना है. Lot of 20s miss out क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा इमोशनल बात करते. पेरेंट्स बोलते forget emotional, give me logic. Then give logic. Yash, does that make some sense to you?
More than you can understand.
Wow, thank you.
It clears a lot of things.
There is a message from Shreya which she writes, thanks for this perspective. Purva, you shared the perspective. She really liked it. Okay. Aishwarya Jan says, not sure if this is relevant, but would love to understand how to optimize our body and mind. Purva, this is a good question for you. Would love to optimize our body and mind for a 13 to 16 hours productive cycle rather than 8 to 10 hours. Wow. And Diana says, so proud of you, Purva. Wow. So, would you like to answer Aishwarya's question, Purva?
Aishwarya's question on mind and body productivity,
Yes.
right?
So how to optimize? She's talking about this.
Okay. So I think the definition of productivity these days, I think it's the hot topic on how everyone is, focusing on not being productive, and the whole day went, I didn't do any work. Definitely, productivity is important, but what is productivity varies from each person. My productivity can only be, maybe I can only work for 4 hours, while maybe Yash can work for 10.
Absolutely.
Right?
Wow. Yes.
This is one point. The other is, what are the things that you are considering as productive? Which again, depends on, like Sanjeev said, am I doing it because I want to, or am I doing it just because it's my routine, or just because I'm used to doing it? 10 साल पहले करते थे तो अब भी कर ही रहे हैं. Jabki we have changed in these 10 years. So now, for example, if I give you an example, in the lockdown, since we are staying at our homes and without house helps, we've distributed household chores amongst ourselves, right? Now, that is also an added chore to my productivity. If I say that I worked for 4 hours, but 1 घंटा घर भी तो साफ किया था, that has also consumed your energy. You also helped your mother in cooking. That is also your energy. So energy, एक दिन की तो उतनी ही energy है जो एक दिन में मिलेगी. You can't borrow energy from the past or the future to use today. Every day you wake up with that bag of energy which you use for, suppose, 10 to-do lists. So 10 tasks in a to-do list divided that energy into those tasks, and then it's over. So, one, what is your limit to working overall? It doesn't have to be jitna, Ayushi works, mujhe bhi utna hi kaam karna hai. What is my limit? What is my capacity? And here, because you mentioned taking my mind into account. So why is mental health getting so much affected in the 20s, especially? So many of my clients currently are in the 20s. It's because the work hours are 14 hours, 16 hours, right? And the capacity of the person is, the work exceeds the capacity of the person to work. So now, so since our discussion is also on holistic living, where does the other components of holistic living go? It's not just your career, it's not just your work, it's also your body, your mind, taking care of yourself. Because if you don't invest in yourself today, tomorrow you won't have the energy to work for even like 4 hours, right? So, how to increase, how to enhance productivity of the mind and the body? Again, following the ARM model, awareness, what are the needs that are most important to you? Understanding where is your energy going? Are those the tasks that you like doing, or are important in your life? And then proceeding towards the action of managing your productivity hours, your energy towards that. So that makes it a holistic thing where you're working, you're having fun also. That is also productivity. Your social productivity is getting enhanced, you're building relationships, right? So viewing productivity as a holistic, phenomena, and not just associating it with work really helps the mind, really helps the body, and it does enhance a lot of areas in your life.
Thank you. That is really awesome. And indirectly, you have answered too many aspects for Yash also.
Yeah, yeah.
And Yash, there's a
That.
message from Soumya. I personally benefited from the answer to Yash question. Would love to hear from Ayushi as well. Absolutely. Ayushi, people are waiting to hear from you also. So what's your aspect?
So my take on Yash's question about the timeline.
No, your question about you now.
So my conflicts. Okay. So one of the major conflicts I have in my life is the inability to connect with people. So I have this major thing where I feel distant. So there's basically, if I like sum it up in like layman language, I feel like there's a wall or a bubble between me and the external world. So that's one of the major things I feel like, that feeling of distant, and it hampers your functioning as well. We are social beings. We need to have that connect with people. So even if you are like an introvert, that doesn't mean you will have zero friends. Introvert
Yeah.
also have like friends. They also make connections. So that, as a social being, that inability to connect and feel distant, it's a major, a setback.
Great. So Purve, would you like to take this pedagogy of home with Ayushi? What with her issue?
Yeah. So I think how we can start with this is by being aware of, since you mentioned earlier in the discussion that, you have friends who are great, and, that's one of the strengths in your life.
Yeah.
So, if there are areas where you feel distant, just getting awareness of why is that distance happening? Is it, if the areas are that, if you're feeling difficult to connect, and how you could tell them, that is one way to
Mm,
communicate, to
right.
express what you feel. Because a lot of times when we build connections, we put a lot of effort in the beginning, and then towards towards the later stage, it's not that the effort is less, but it becomes, we rely more on understanding and not communicating.
Right.
But be it 2 months or like 2 years, the person needs to know, right? Maybe they're ready to accept and give, but they have to know about it.
Right.
So that's, I think that's one way to go about it. Sanjeev, would you like to add on this?
Awesome. Rather, Ayushi's question also leads to the same thing because I can correlate Yash and Ayushi together. I would just put it again. We will always use the same pedagogy. Let's understand this pedagogy of Om with Sanskriti. Okay, and Ayushi and Yash, you would now understand what do we connect, how do we connect to make your life simple every aspect. One thing is very clear. Whenever you are working for anything or doing anything in your life, be very aware, are you the part of the rat race or are you the part of the um, lion race?
Lions walk. Yeah.
Okay, now
Yeah.
this is there. Now why I'm using, I would keep using this word rat again and again. मैं इसको ना बड़ा अच्छा लगता है बात करने में. Let's be very much aware कि आप जब जो कर रहे हो, which race are you part of, or are you just into your own race? You can be in your own race also. So when I say this factor, संस्कृति में आपको जब challenge आता है, when we use this subject known as Sanskriti, because we are almost reached 4:50, so we'll just try to wrap up in next 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, संस्कृति में जो एक सबसे बड़ा point आता है वो ये आता है कि lot of time you have to make yourself aware, and lot of time you have to make aware the other person also about the Sanskriti. So for example, once I was talking to one of the parent, and they were talking कि ये बच्चे ये कर रहे हैं, ऐसा कर रहे हैं, बहुत सारे अपने बच्चे के बारे में बात करी. So I asked them, what's wrong in this? नहीं, हमारा कल्चर खराब हो रहा है, हमारा सिस्टम खराब हो रहा है. And I asked this parent, okay, I want to ask you, हमारे इंडिया का कल्चर था, if I just tell you, हम लोग जब डाइन करते थे, जमीन पे बैठ के करा करते थे. Who got this dining table? बच्चे लाए या आप लाए थे?
Right.
And he was really shocked. अरे क्या बोल दिया? मैंने कहा अब ये कल्चर खराब नहीं करा हुआ था, बट आज आपने शुरू करा because you liked it, you changed it, and nobody objected you or you forcefully followed it. You don't take it as a consideration of change of Sanskriti.
Right. I think it's about convenience of people.
It's about the convenience. Thank you. Ayushi, you are so right. Awesome. It's about convenience for everybody. Now you made it. You understood it. That's the awareness you're following now.
Yeah.
And if we just understand this aspect, and now I tell all our viewers out here on YouTube live, I talk about anybody else, अगर आप एक छोटा सा काम लाइफ में शुरू कर सको, first be aware yourself, understand the Sanskriti, what the other person is trying to say. You would get first कि वो logical बात कर रहे हैं या emotional बात कर रहे हैं.
Right.
And now get back onto the similar platform. Make them very much aware कि यार आज हम अपने घर में एसी लगा के सोते हैं, हमारे यहाँ की संस्कृति थी क्या? हमारे यहाँ साइकिल से काम पे जाया करते थे, आप गाड़ी में क्यों जाते हो? हमारे यहाँ बच्चों को खुला छोड़ दिया जाता था, आपने हमें बांध के क्यों रखा? I'm sure Purvai, Yash and Ayushi, you would have faced this thing. Okay?
Correct.
Definitely.
With this awareness, when you understand, have this clarity, your action would be entirely different. Now, Ayushi used a lovely word again about relationship, okay? And she used the word introvert. Introvert क्या होता है? Introvert is a form of person who just talks when required. Extrovert says whenever, even when it is not required. Introvert looks for the opportunity.
Lovely explanation.
Introvert
I
doesn't
feel
mean you
attacked.
can't speak.
Sorry.
So right.
No, that's okay.
क्या इंट्रोवर्ट का मतलब ये होता है you can't speak? Not at all. इंट्रोवर्ट का मतलब आप अपना टाइम लेके अपना सोच समझ के, और एक्सट्रोवर्ट बिंदास बोल देता है. That's the difference. Perfect. So when you use this word introvert, Ayushi, and you use the word relationship, and यश का क्वेश्चन भी काम से नहीं आया था, यश का क्वेश्चन भी रिलेशनशिप को लेके आया था.
Yeah.
If we see everything boils down to relationship with anybody, family, friends, social, anybody. And that's where I'm saying, जब भी relationship में आपको कभी dent लगे, and all our viewers, I would say कि this is how you need to understand that अगर हम सिर्फ एक चीज पे फोकस कर सकें, एक चीज पे, let the Sanskriti also be highlighted to the other person. उन्होंने भी, सबने संस्कृति चेंज करी है, कल्चर चेंज करा है टाइम टू टाइम. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Let them be aware about it. And the moment they are aware, they'll stop pinpointing you too much and you get your life.
Yeah.
The hack of living.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I said it is very simple. You have to make it for yourself with awareness and understanding. Move on will always be easy.
Right.
Thank you, Purvai, for even making it so real, live, and everything.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I think we have one last question, which I think we can quickly take.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's from Sapek. She says, if this aligns with the theme, please let us know how to maintain focus while living at work, also known as work from home, as we have many things pulling our attention away from key tasks,
Wow.
majorly social media.
Perfect. So, would you like to take, or should I just give a one-liner sort of thing? Very, very powerful question.
Yeah, please go ahead, please.
Okay, I would say इसमें only biggest issue is work from home में that almost everybody is saying there is no time limit to work. I believe there is huge time for yourself. Only difference is just organize your work. Today, I would just say be aware in your work from home. We are doing a lot of in a casual way. हम कभी भी उठते हैं, कभी भी उठ के बीच में चले जाते हैं, कभी भी उठ के हम कुछ और कर लेते हैं, मेन काम को छोड़ देते हैं. Okay, you have to just focus for yourself for the timing, and we can take this question offline also, and we can again talk next time also.
Yeah.
Wonderful. This is from Sapeksh. Okay, Sapeksh, I would say just be aware कि क्या आप अपने आप को थोड़ा organize कर सकते हो. Just with your time. Be authentic to your time, and you see the difference. You will get it. Just be aware yourself कि कितने time wasters आपके real working hours आप use कर रहे हो. जैसे उस time wasters को आप side out करोगे. For sure, work from home में managers can't see what and how much you're working. तो उसके दिमाग में एक ही बात बैठा हुआ, घर पे बैठा हुआ, मस्ती मार रही है. Let them be wrong. Show them, give them the output, and then stand for it, and we can talk about this. Lovely question, Satesh. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Yash. Thanks, Ayushi. I hope you got something from
Thank
today's
you.
session.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
wonderful. So before you go and we close the session, we would like to hear one thing, one message you would like to give to our viewers with your awareness and your understanding with A-U-M Pedagogy to our viewers. So, Ayushi, would you like to start first? What message would you like to give to our viewers today?
Yes. Okay. So one thing which just came up is that prioritize.
Okay.
So as Purvai also said that we have limited energy. So we have to prioritize the people, the tasks that we want to invest in. So people should, invest, like soch samajh kar, prioritize your energy and focus on the task you really love. Don't, participate in a rat race, or don't be in relationships or toxic relationships just for the sake of it, or because you don't want to be lonely. So just prioritize and invest your energy wherever it's required.
Wow. Thank you very much, Ayushi. Very powerful insight you are giving to our participants here. Thank you very much.
Thank
How about
you.
you, Yash?
You guys pretty much covered everything that I could think of. But yeah, to give one last thing, I'll tell people in their 20s, especially for the career wise, please don't let your hobbies die. It's the time for unconventional methods of working to please come up and change the world. So don't, just because you've entered your 20 doesn't mean your life before 20 has to die off. Hobbies are very important. Concentrating on my hobbies is what made me develop into an event manager and eventually owning a company. So don't let them die. Please work. There's no pressure from anyone. If you do your work and if you can make your work fun, then I think half the things are solved in your life. So yeah, and that's the one thing I'll say.
Thanks, Yash. One message from you, Purvai, for our viewers.
I think more than anything, I would just want to say that take breaks. We also don't have an attention span of like more than an hour. So after working for an hour, you deserve that break, and just be easy on yourself. And as long as there's awareness, as long as there's understanding, things will fall into place, and we will gain clarity on issues that we face and come across. So, and I think again, what Yash said, I think that really stuck with me. Don't let the life before 20s die just because you've entered 20s. I think that makes so much sense.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely.
Last one liner from my side. All the people in 20s, okay. Whosoever is trying to block your life or spoil your life or control your life, questions the Sanskriti back, question them back.
Yeah,
Very
Yeah.
important.
definitely,
And once you start
definitely.
questioning, they'll stop questioning you. But yes, at the same time, just be connected with their Sanskriti also. You are not demeaning them.
True,
You are trying to just connect.
Right.
Thank you
true.
very much, all of you. Nice thing.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, next week we are having session with life as parenting. So all those of you who want to be part of the parenting, you will get a link in this chat box, okay, in our comment box. Click it and register for yourself. We meet on next Sunday at 4 p.m. on 27th of December after Christmas. All the best. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you very much. Bye bye for attending.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sanjeev.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Welcome.
Bye,
Bye.
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.